got no money, right? That's how we think. That's how that negative energy gets us on the carousel of the mind, right? When we are just like, I don't got no money, so what I'm gonna look for, right? I ain't even expecting no money. Mindset was broke, y'all. Broke. Lack. Broke. Mind. Hey, beautiful ones. Fran here. Back with another quick video. So before we go any further, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. I am so thankful and grateful for each and every one of you, as you guys already know, but I have to tell you that every single time. So I'm jumping on today because I just got off the phone with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the move of God and how manifesting from a spiritual standpoint of your life is so different, especially if you grew up in church or you grew up as a Christian. You see spiritual manifestation as actually incorporating God into your manifestations, which, I mean, God's the ultimate creator, so why would you not do that, right? But what really made me come on and talk about this is that we were talking about how I first started my business. So my son was in preschool at this point, and I didn't have a job any longer, and I would get up and I would see him and my daughter off to school. And at this point, we lived in this 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a finished basement. And so, of course, we had our bedroom. My daughter had her bedroom. My son had his bedroom. We had this tiny little kitchen and this tiny little dining room. But we had all this space downstairs on the lower floor, which was the family room, the toy room, everything. It was the everything room, right? And I remember saying, okay, God, I have to have an office. I have to have a place where I can sit and hear you. That's just my own place. I need to have that place. And I need to have a place to work. Now, mind you, I had a computer, but I did not have a computer desk. I hadn't even set up my computer, nothing. I just knew that I had to do something, right? So with very, very little income at that point, I went to the thrift store and I bought this desk, right? And it was just a very little small desk, and it was a very tiny desk. And all I could fit on it was my computer and my keyboard, and I had to put the modem underneath. At this time, I was not an Apple girl. I was still an HP girl. And I remember going to this place that we have called Tuesday Morning. And you guys may have Tuesday mornings where you live. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I remember going into Tuesday Morning and I saw these Japanese doors, right? And the Japanese doors, you know, they're like a petition. So they kind of petition off. They keep you petitioned off from everything else that's going on. And those petitions were $65. Now, I just told you I didn't have any income, right? And at that point, all I had was my credit cards. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to spend this $65 on this petition. But I need to have a space so that I'm feeling like I'm working, right? And I remember hearing in my spirit, faith, faith, faith. Just a little faith. Just have a little faith, Fran. And I remember going up to the counter, didn't even know if the car was going to decline or not. I had no clue, right? Because at that point, I was not keeping up my finances. I was not being a good steward because in my mind, I have no finances to keep up with. Like, what am I keeping up with? I ain't got no money, right? That's how we think. That's how that negative energy gets us on the carousel of the mind, right? When we are just like, I don't got no money, so what I'm gonna look for, right? I ain't even expecting no money. Mindset was broke, y'all. Broke. Lack. Broke. Mindset was broke. And I went up to the counter, and there was nobody in this store that looked like me, right? So I was really like, okay. So I go up to the counter, and the lady's like, oh, these are such pretty doors. But I said, yeah, I'm going to use them to create an office. Telling her my story a little bit. And she was like, wow, that is so amazing. Good for you. That's good for you. More women need to do that. I need to do that. We need to do that. And I said, I agree. Card went through. Of course, it took me over the limit. Let me say that. But it went through. And I remember going home, and there was this little bitty, and I'm trying not to get emotional, y'all. I really am. But there was this little bitty corner in the basement. And I put the desk over there. And when my honey came home, I had him help me put the computer down there. And I had this file cabinet that I had also got from the thrift store. And I put it in the corner. And I put the doors around the desk because they were probably the prettiest part of this little makeshift office that I created. And every day I would go downstairs after I got the kids off, and I would sit there with my word, and I would read my word, and then I would say, God, please teach me. I said I wasn't going to cry, y'all, so I'm not going to cry. But I said, God, please teach me how to make money, how to manifest, how to create, how to change my life, how to change my mindset. I don't want to go to anybody else right now. I just want it to be me and you. And I want you to speak to my spirit and teach me. Because if you teach me, I'll teach other women. I will teach other men, anyone who comes to me for help. I will teach them how to make money, and I will make sure that they understand that you are the invisible substance of the universe. That it's because of you, it's all flowing, right? And I did that for a couple of days, and on like the 5th or 6th day, this advertisement came across my computer, right? Now, after, I was a corporate girl, so I was working other people's programs. I didn't know nothing about blogging, YouTubing, Facebook, and I didn't know any of that. I had a job at that point, and that's what I was working. Like, I didn't have time for all that. I was working sometimes 10, 12 hours a day and taking care of my kids the other time. So I didn't have time for all of that. The stuff that we now do, the stuff that I now have time to do, didn't have time for that then. But I remember being on the computer, and this advertisement for writers came up in this blog called Powerful Intentions, right? Now, I'm getting to that inspired action that we always talk about. I said, powerful intentions. Oh, I always talk about intentions. My mentor always talks about intentions. My mom always talks about intentions. I just talked about intentionally getting this bread at work back then, right? Okay, another story. But I remember going to it, and I said, oh, I'm going to just write down what I know. I'm going to just start typing what I know, what I've learned thus far, right? So I became a member of the blog, and I started typing. And my first thought was, oh, thank you, Lord, for bringing this to me. This is so great. People are going to find me, and it's going to help me build this business or whatever it is I'm building here. The other thought was, y'all ready for the other thought? Because, stinky thinking, right? The other thought was, ain't nobody going to find you, child. There's 1,000 writers on here, and they probably write so much better than you do. And they probably know so much more than you do. Nobody gonna want to hear what you gotta say. Nobody is going to find you, right? But like I tell y'all, I have like this humongous amount of faith. Like, I got enough faith for all of us. Let me tell you, I have this huge amount of faith. Like, nothing's impossible for God for me. Never has been. Even when I was in the valley, I still knew nothing was impossible for God, right? So I started writing for this blog, and I meet this amazing lady named Brenda Ford. And Brenda was like, wow, you really got, she lived in Colorado. I'll never forget this. And she said, wow, you really got something. You really got something. And I said, you think? And she goes, yeah, you got something. Well, who else are you writing for? And I was like, who else? Nobody. She says, oh my God, honey. She said, you have to start your own blog platform. You need to copy and paste. She taught me about copying and pasting and all of this. And for the next 6 months, literally, every morning we would get on the phone. And I remember saying to her, how can I help you? What can I do for you? How can I serve you? What can I do? And she said, you know, you are really a very gifted messenger. She goes, how about when I have questions about my business or relationship, whatever? She said, how about you just give me sessions and I'll give you business advice. She says, but I'm also going to suggest you take some business courses on how to run your own business, which eventually I did. But through that blog, I got client after client after client. Some of the people are still my clients. I found some of the most, and was divinely linked to some of the most amazing people on that blog. I found some of the most amazing connections on that blog. Now, you probably think, okay, Fran, so we get it. You wrote for this blog and you started your business like that and people started coming to you. We get it. What's the point? The point is, number one, if I hadn't went to God and included him in what I was trying to do, I would have missed my instruction. Number two, if I had not taken inspired, y'all hear me? Are y'all listening? If I had not taken inspired action, I would have just let that blog pass me on by. And I wouldn't have met Miss Brenda, right? Who in turn became like my best friend, my biggest supporter, even came to one of my live events, all the way from Colorado to Kansas, right? Even though we're only 8 hours away driving, but still. I would not have met the amazing clients that I still service to this day. And I would not have ever set up my own blog, created my own website. I did all of that with her help. So there's a really big point here. There's a couple of them. Number one is, no matter what it looks like right now, if you're waiting until it gets perfect, you're going to be waiting a long time. Nothing is perfect. My business is still not perfect. My team and I, we still struggle. We still go through, the learning curves. I'm not going to say we struggle. Let me scratch that. Clear, cancel, delete that. We're still going through certain learning curves on certain things. And every time I ask God to send me the right person, he sends me the right person. If I had not listened to the inspired action, if I did not step out on faith, we have to step out on faith even if we cannot see the steps. We have to step out on faith and trust that God has heard us. Just like we want to trust that God is going to move for us, we have to trust the fact that God has heard us. He's heard our requests. He's heard our prayers. He's working on them. It's already happening. We have to trust and believe in that process. And so many times we just don't. We just are kind of like, okay, I ask once and I've been waiting for weeks and nothing has happened. That's how we get. And y'all know that's how we get. It's really sad, but that's how we get. And that's not going to get us nothing. You have to ask, you have to listen, and you have to put yourself in position. If I was hearing something and I wasn't quite sure what I was hearing, I would go to my mom, I would go to my mentor, and I would be like, so this is what I got. How y'all feeling about that? And you know what they would say to me? How you feeling about that? God speaks to you just like he speaks to us. What you think? And I would be sitting there like, oh, well, I was hoping that you would tell me what you thought, but okay, I get it. Sometimes you got to get up and you have to move accordingly. It may not work the first time. It took me a long time to get my business to where it is today, and I'm still not done. I'm still not done. See, people don't want to tell you that. They want to show you their pictures, and they want to say, yeah, I'm bossing, I'm rolling, I got this. Half the time, the people that we see that are truly flossing, the car is leased, rented, bald. The home is leased, rented, or bald. Most of the stuff that they're flashing is not even theirs, or it's been given to them, sponsored by someone. And we are condemning ourselves, criticizing ourselves, being upset with ourselves because we're not there yet. Listen, I will be completely transparent and I will be completely authentic. I can't tell you that everybody will be, but I will be. It took me a long time to make 4 figures. It took me a long time to make 6 figures. It took me a long time to make 7.5 figures. It doesn't happen overnight. But here's what I can tell you. God is consistent. And if you consistently do what you're supposed to do, God is always going to do what he's supposed to do. Don't be detoured, concerned, upset with, worried about what anybody else is doing. Focus on you. Listen to the spirit within you. One of your greatest gifts is your connection to God. Use that. And don't let nobody talk you out of using it. You know I love to hear from you. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think about this video. If you know somebody who needs it, share it. Let them know that there's some good stuff going on over here. We are raising consciousness and changing mindsets one video at a time. All right, I will talk